Yeah, I kind of figured I'd talk about this. And if you came to this video expecting it to be a complete rant video about the issues that Mighty Number 9 are currently facing, then I guess this might not be the video for you. I'm aware of the development hell that Mighty Number 9 has gone through. I'm aware of the promises that the game has made to the people. The biggest thing that I see that people who have been saying about the game is that this game sucks. I've been looking at a bunch of reviews and they all come across pretty much saying the same thing. The game isn't what was promised. The game doesn't look good. The game has frame rate issues. A lot of things that seem to be very nitpicky about the game. And I'm going to be comparing Mighty Number 9 to other games that people have also reviewed and gave relatively positive scores to. One of those games being Pokken Tournament, and another game soon to come out, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. A lot of the things I hear people saying about this game, it's completely different than what they said about Pokken Tournament. To put this into perspective, I am a Pokemon channel, and I do love Pokken Tournament for what the game offers, but the game looks bad. The game is sometimes not fun to play. The game does not really have frame rate issues, but sometimes the game lags when changing phases. Sometimes it just locks up for a couple of seconds before it realizes what's going on. The game has balance issues out the ass. The game also it has a very inconsistent art style. Some backgrounds do look nice. Others are really bad to look at. The texture quality is questionable at best. Pretty much the only thing that's worth talking about in the game are the way the Pokemon models look. The voice acting in the game is bad, and the music is sometimes good and sometimes bad. Like Pokken Tournament, other than being a Pokemon fighting game, really has nothing that I expected for that particular game. The character roster is bad. You get two Pikachus, you get two Mewtwo's. The game does not represent Pokemon fairly uh, in terms of its species diversity. And it's just a lot of different things that I think the game does wrong. But people like IGN, um, GameSpot, other websites and stuff gave Pokken Tournament very good scores, which I didn't feel were deserving. I felt Pokken Tournament is at most a 5.5, maybe 6 out of 10, not 9, 9.5, 10 out of 10, like these websites have been giving the game. But these exact same websites are shitting all over Mighty Number 9 for the very same things that they chose to overlook for Pokken Tournament. Even if we look at Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, the game looks good, the game sounds good, the voice acting is very good, the graphics are good, the special effects are nice. But it's almost universally accepted that this here is the worst Call of Duty game out, and the game hasn't even came out yet. So the only thing that I can possibly think of that Mighty Number 9 is doing as badly as people are saying it is the fact that it just seems like a hate train for the most part. People are saying the game is bad for the purpose of being a part of some bigger plot or whatever just to make the game bad. Like I've seen gameplay of Mighty Number 9 and I've never really been as big a Mega Man fan as anybody else. I think I've only ever played one Mega Man game and I never even finished it. But if people are expecting Mega Man, then they should probably just play Mega Man. Like that's That's pretty much what you have to look at. This is like saying ukulele is going to be a bad game because it's not Banjo Kazooie. Granted, ukulele does look nice. Um, I'm actually looking forward to it, but I want another Banjo Kazooie game. That's where my character allegiance is with. I like Banjo. I like Kazooie. I don't know anything about ukulele. I don't know anything about those two characters, but I'm willing to overlook the fact that it's not Banjo and Kazooie for the purpose of getting another game from the people who made the game. The person who made Mighty Number 9 also made Mega Man. Of course, it's not going to be a one-to-one copy of Mega Man. That's not going to happen. You played this game on its own strengths. Another thing that I'm hearing people say is that, well, the game looks like it did back in the PlayStation 2 era. Well, maybe that was the art style that they chose to go with. Sure, the game probably could have looked better, but I can't tell a developer what they can and can't do with their game. This here is like saying that, well, maybe X game is going to be worse than the game that's trying to copy simply because the art style isn't the same. Another thing that I hear people doing is comparing this game to Dusk, a $40,000 Kickstarter game versus a $4 million Kickstarter game. I simply don't care about any of that. Those are just all numbers. The game probably could have been made a little bit cheaply than what they were originally asking for. I think that pretty much comes from working with a big developer where, having a $4 million budget is technically low for a game. But even if we were to use this for standards, going back to Pokken Tournament, the game looks a lot worse than what I would expect the developers of Tekken to deliver. The arcade version of the game looks great, but you get the Wii U version is like, what the fuck happened? Super Smash Bros. Brawl for the Wii looks better than Pokken Tournament. But does that automatically make Pokken Tournament a bad game because the art style looks like it did from a previous generation of games? No. You got to play the game for what it is. I believe that a game isn't like the sum of its parts, it's all of it. You know, how does the game look? How does it sound? How does it feel? These are the things that people need to these are things that people need to look at when they're actually looking at a game. I've never played a Mega Man game from start to finish. So maybe I'm the last person to sit here and tell a Mega Man fan what they should expect for the game. But I really do feel that the hate that Mighty Number 9 is getting isn't justified at all. And I really want people to actually sit down and think about, you know, why do you really hate this game? Is it because everybody else hates it? And I simply think it is. I think this game is getting the exact same treatment that Call of Duty Infinite Warfare is getting, and I don't think it's fair. Could the game have been better? Probably. Every game could be better. There isn't probably one game out there where the developers didn't say, well, I wish I could have did this or that. Maybe I would have changed this. But I really don't know what else to really say here. It just comes across that a lot of people really don't know what they want. Or maybe they do know what they want, but realistically, the developers couldn't give it to you because they couldn't make this an exact copy of Mega Man. He probably would have got sued for it. He probably is getting sued for this. Who knows? But I think the game is doing something different while giving that Mega Man feeling. You still absorb powers from bosses. And to me, that really seems the only draw that Mega Man has. You can fight bosses in any way you want and make it as hard or as easy as you want. I mean, outside of pretty much anything else, I mean, what's really different here? You got a Mega Man-like character that has Mega Man-like abilities. with Mega Man like platforming. What more do people want from Mighty Number Nine? I really don't know. Now I'm aware of a lot of the other stuff that the game has went through, but I really don't think that's relevant to the game itself. The developers do have a vision for whatever it is that they're working on. I'm making a game right now too, and I do feel like I have to compete with some stuff, but at the end of the day, the art style that I choose for my game is the art style that I choose for my game. If I want it to look like a PlayStation game, then it'll look like a PlayStation game. Minecraft didn't get these criticisms, and Minecraft does look like a PlayStation 1 game. So you really have to look at the games that you're playing and say, what can this game offer to me? An art style is simply just that. It's just an art style. You might find a game that has an ugly art style. You might find a game that has a great one, but because the art style isn't what you expected, then maybe it doesn't really necessarily make it a bad game. I seen the demo that they made before where colors looked a whole lot more dull and I guess more polished. This is what some people are saying, but maybe that's not the way they want the game to look. I can't know what was going on in their development. Maybe they took shortcuts. Maybe they didn't. Nobody knows. But that's all that I kind of want to say about that. I do think a lot of people are being unfair to the game, and I really do wish people do cut it out because I mean it's not fair for me to say, well, yeah, baby, glad you got a game in general. That's never something that you want to say. But I just say, like, just be glad that the developers of Mega Man, wanted to make a Mega Man like game. Maybe the next Mighty Number 9 will be better for you, and this here will be something that's, kind of brings those fans back. I know Mighty Number 9 has a lot to live up to because Mega Man does have pretty high standards for a lot of people, but Mighty Number 9 to me looks like the older Mega Man games in terms of how simplistic the gameplay and design was. Mighty Number 9 is do things as fast as possible while trying to maintain a combo. That's not a bad thing. So hopefully the the people who do like Mighty Number 9 do enjoy it for what it is. If people didn't like it, then maybe they can see this video and maybe reconsider as to why they don't like it. Every game has standards to live up to. Like I said, I'm not particularly a fan of Pokken Tournament, but I don't necessarily think it's a bad game. So hopefully this helps somebody out there that I know people might be on this whole thing of wanting to watch a bunch of I hate Mighty Number 9 videos. That I'm typically not that type of person to share the same mindsets as everyone else. If I'm going to hate something, there's going to be a reason why I hate it, or at least dislike it and offer some kind of criticism to how they can fix it. Like I said, I've never really played a Mega Man game from start to finish. I've only ever watched videos of it, and there's a big difference between watching and playing. So I can't really offer any fixes for Mighty Number 9, but for things right now, the game works, and that's pretty much all that I care about. So thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you all have a nice day.